Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. You know, every day on News 9 Live, we pick up a particular piece of documentary that has been put out on our application, the News 9 Plus application for cutting edge and incisive analysis on various topics, of course, nuanced perspectives as well. Today, we're trying to decode the enigma of Sharad Pawar. Now, the origin of Maharashtra means the origin of Sharad Pawar, chieftain of the Nationalist Congress Party, emerging onto the scene since 1959, even in 2023. It seems he is far from hanging his boots as far as his political career is concerned. From orchestrating the debacle of the Patil government in 1978 to single-handedly architecting the MVA in 2019, Sharad Pawar has been called the mastermind that never goes out of fashion. Several times Chief Minister of the state, with extensive union government experience, speaks volumes of the man's political maturity. Regional parties have time and again thought of confiding in him. But the enigma Sharad Pawar is, friend of all and confidant of none, has made it difficult for his peers to understand him. Some would say he can't be trusted easily. NCP leaders Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar have recently taken contrary stances from their opposition allies, praising Prime Minister Modi and backing Adani. The NCP leaders' changes in the stance merits the questions over the message Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar are sending out. So, the main questions we're trying to decode here. Can Pawar be understood? Can the opposition alliance be unlocked without him? Does he wield the same kind of political pull that he used to? And is he still the kingmaker or somebody that can't be trusted as much? We've got the man behind the story. We've got an NCP spokesperson with us on the panel here. We're going to try and decode these questions. But before that, a snippet of that documentary, The Enigma of Sharad Pawar. We're going to play that out for you and then go on to the discussion. Take a look.
Backstabbing is the khasiyat of Sharad Pawar politics.
We all call him the walking, talking encyclopedia.
Nobody has been able to actually frame Pawar.
और ये शरद पवार की भूमिका नहीं निभा रहे, ये ललिता पवार की भूमिका निभा रहे।
Pawar came into politics just ahead of Maharashtra coming into being, 59-60 onward. So still he is relevant. And the importance of Pawar is that he is never out of use, you know, the expiry date kind of a thing. You know, he's always contemporary. He's always on the move. He tries to understand. He's not like other politicians who think they have arrived, you know. So this is the beauty of Pawar, and he's one of the most hard-working politicians.
We all call him the walking, talking encyclopedia. When I think I'm going to go and discuss something which is probably new for him, I get a rude shock because he knows more than me.
It starts with 1978 when he backstabbed. Backstab was the word used by then, you know. I mean, since then it started sticking to him. Vasundhara Patil government, he was part of it. And the blessing for that, I mean, it came after that. It's been reported also, widely written also about Yashwantrao Chavan's idea basically to dislodge the government. But the actual action of dislodging was led by Mr. Pawar.
Backstabbing is the khasiyat of Sharad Pawar politics. It's always better for his political discourse, political suitability to work with Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray was just puppet of NCP and Congress.
There has been consistent effort, concerted effort to frame Pawar into certain color. It started with 1992-93 onwards. So there is so much of media creation about Pawar's so-called untrustworthy or not trustworthy image.
The most consistent feature of the Maratha strongman style of politics is his unpredictability. Pawar likes to keep his adversaries as well as his confidants guessing. This has ensured his political longevity. He has also outwitted those who call him a regional leader and stayed relevant in national politics.
Despite having political rivals, political challengers at different political places, nobody has been able to actually frame Pawar.
He was never relevant politician at India level, all India level. He remained Maharashtra level politician, but it is very unfortunate and sad on part of Sharad Pawar because of his policies, casteist politics. Now he not only remained as a even Maharashtra politician, he now became leader of one caste.
If there is one leader who stands tall and who everybody feels like going and confiding in, and here I'm not talking about my party, I'm talking about parties all across the country. There are now second generation regional leaders in quite a few states. Their fathers would do it, the sons are doing it. They all feel like coming across and comforting themselves by sharing whatever is weighing on their mind, by sitting and talking to Pawar Sahib. So if he was not trustworthy, would that have come about?
Well, joining us on the broadcast is the man behind this journalistic endeavor, Kiran D. Tare from Mumbai, and spokesperson for the Nationalist Congress Party, Clyde Crasto. Very warm welcome to the both of you. Kiran, first and foremost, the name of the documentary, The Enigma of Sharad Pawar. What's so special about this particular politician? I mean, the timelessness, how he remains contemporary throughout the ages, throughout the years. And why did you select to do a story on Sharad Pawar, given the current political scenario in the country?
In a current political scenario in the country, you can't neglect Sharad Pawar, a person like a tall stature like Sharad Pawar. You like him, you don't like him, you love him, you hate him, but you can't ignore him. Pawar politics is essence of the country. Pawar knows the pulse of the country. So when Pawar said that there was an attempt to frame Adani, he meant something. When Pawar said that there was something which people like about Savarkar, there was something meant to it. And Pawar is one person who has friends in every party. No one can neglect him. No one can overlook his demands. No one can overlook his thoughts. But here the problem is that even if Pawar is a binding force for the for the opposition parties, will he be able to keep them united against the BJP? Here the problem is, we are analyzing to say that Pawar is a very accurate politician, very astute politician. His political moves are so different that even his opponents are not able to guess what he's going to do. But is that enough? Will it give an edge to the unity of the opposition? Will it lead to a united front against the ruling BJP? That is what the question is. This is what in our mind while doing this story. We asked several experts, senior journalist Girish Kuber, and of course the people from both the parties, BJP and the NCP. They are saying that Pawar is the capable person, but he is like a Ranji player. Ranji player who scores hundreds of runs in a domestic match, but when it comes to international match, he doesn't score that much runs. So when Pawar in Maharashtra, he is a tallest personality, tallest political figure, but when it comes to the national level politics, Pawar is not able to deliver that much expectations which people expect from him. What is going wrong? Whether it is the credibility of Sharad Pawar, whether it is his style of working, he is not consistent in his policies. All these factors are there. We are trying to analyze all these things, and the people we talk to, they are saying that on a personal level, on a understanding of the various subjects, Pawar is excellent. No one is there to match with it. But when it comes to lead as a opposition party leader, bringing all the opposition parties, more than 20 parties together, Pawar lacks that trustworthiness. That is their problem. That is why Pawar cannot become an alternative to Narendra Modi.
Well, absolutely. I'm going to take the same questions to Mr. Crasto with us on the broadcast, spokesperson for the NCP. Mr. Crasto, I know I've put you on a spot because we're talking about this documentary that talks about the enigma of Sharad Pawar. And the more superlatives or strong adjectives that you use, it's going to look like you're sugarcoating your chieftain, your leader over here. But at the same time, is it actually the truth that it's impossible to make out Sharad Pawar, frame him, try to understand him, even as over the years so many other regional leaders have come out and confided in him? In the documentary, it's mentioned that their fathers would do it, and now they're also coming out and they're really confiding in Sharad Pawar. Given the current political scenario, the recent moves that he's been making, he just met Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi as well, and the recent comments that he made on Prime Minister Modi and Adani vis-a-vis the JPC demand that is being, that probe is being demanded in the parliament, was being demanded rather. The session was a complete washout. What do you have to say about the documentary? Give us a sense how you read the documentary. Have you watched it?
Yeah, well, I did watch it. And I'm going to be very candid about what I speak. And Kiranji here knows that, I speak very candidly and I don't mince my words when I'm talking. At the same time, I'm never crass. My point is very clear here. First of all, you spoke to a BJP spokesman who's a motor mouth, okay, and is a frustrated spokesperson and a cadre of the BJP himself. So when he talks about, using, different kinds of words, which I don't want to use for Mr. Sharad Pawar, I can only say that he's frustrated and he's totally not in sync with his own leader, Mr. Narendra Modi, because Mr. Narendra Modi himself has gone to say that Mr. Sharad Pawar is his guru. So if his own leader follows someone who's a guru and, Atul Bhatkalkar goes and, kinds of use these kinds of words, then I feel sorry for him. Secondly, you spoke, I've seen your documentary and Mr. Girish Kuber and one of us spoke, so I think Avinash Adik was there. I mean, you have to be sort of politically intelligent and smart to understand what Mr. Sharad Pawar is all about. He is an astute leader, a person whom I personally know, and he's not just a politician. He is someone who knows political science. His knowledge of governance, his knowledge of government is unparalleled. Nobody can, I don't know anyone who can come close to him in understanding what governance is all about. The fact of the matter is, when you say that he cannot be trusted, people who do not know politics, who do not believe in the science of politics, find it difficult to trust because they don't understand what politics is all about. And when you are a politician, you have to be part of the political process. If you're in politics, you can't be you are not doing what a doctor does. A doctor does what he does, an architect does what he does, and a politician who knows political science does what he has to do. So that is what Mr. Pawar is all about. I'll tell you something. We've been around for nearly 24 years. In 24 years, if you look at our record, our history, for 17 and a half years, we've been in government in Maharashtra. We've been part of government in Goa, in different states, and we've been together in the UPA for 10 years. So if you're talking about if some BJP spokesperson is going and saying there's no relevance, he's not out of Maharashtra, you cannot rule out the importance of Mr. Sharad Pawar. He's been part of the government, the tallest leader possible right now, and a leader whom the Prime Minister of our country respects also. So, what happens is there's a saying, and Kiranji will agree with me, that if you want to find some relevance, if you want to be known political, you need to say something about Mr. Pawar. And when you say something about Mr. Pawar, then there is news, you become part of the news, you get relevance. So there are some people who just for the sake of being, in the news or, trying to get some little cheap publicity, will either rile Mr. Pawar down or say something bad about him, and then the news comes up. I have to tell you one thing very clearly. There is talk about him leaving the Congress and then starting an own party. Let me tell you one thing. This is very few people who know that when he was with the Congress, there was a discussion about how if Mrs. Sonia Gandhi becomes part of the process, what will be the repercussion? And let me tell you, Mr. Pawar is a very technical person. His knowledge of what will happen in the future when he takes a political decision is like something of a Nostradamus value, or he foresees because of his study. So he just mentioned that, maybe an issue might come up. Now, within any political party, there's always going to be somebody who likes you and somebody doesn't like you because they want to go ahead of you. And that's when they use this topic of what he suggested and try to build up a narrative that, Mr. Pawar is against the Gandhi family. And that's when they asked him to leave. And that's when he left and he formed his own party. And we are here And we did serve the people of Maharashtra for 15 years with the Congress themselves. And we've been in government. And today also we are back as a Mahavikas Aghadi. We are together with the Congress and the Shiv Sena. We, despite being not in government, that we were there for 2.5 years, we are still there together serving the people of Maharashtra, and that's what you see.
Well, absolutely.
You
Mr. Crasto, what happened with the MVA is stuff of legend. There's no denying the fact that he has made some moves on the political chessboard that would go down straight up in history. But, when the opposition leaders come out and say that, his sway is dwindling in Maharashtra per se. And of course, I mean, age has to play a role here as well. People are speculating when the man is finally going to hang up his boots. But in terms of the sway and the power, he's not going to do that. And the sway and the sway he has in Maharashtra, has that dwindled just to one cast?
I'll explain this to you. Okay. First and foremost, Mr. Pawar will never retire. He'll never hang up his boots. Even today, he's up early before dawn and he's working till late in the night. He meets everybody possible. He's one leader, the tallest leader of our country, who's accessible to anybody who would like to meet him. So to talk about him hanging his boot, I think you have to forget about it. Secondly, his whole aura or his stature is dwindling. My challenge is to the BJP. We came out, we won 54, 55 seats. My challenge to Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis is that if you think his political stature or my party stature is dwindling, hold an election today. We challenge you to hold an election today and we will go for the election. Now let me get to the word backstabbing. If you're using the word backstabbing, then if that is the case, then even a Devendra Fadnavis is a backstabber, even a Eknath Shinde is a backstabber, because Devendra Fadnavis, according to what we hear, again, the BJP spokesperson spoke about what he heard. So according to hearsay, if you talk about how they denied the 2.5 years of chief ministership to the Shiv Sena, that means they are also backstabbers. Eknath Shinde ran away in the middle of the night and deceived the Shiv Sena and went and joined the BJP. So even he's a backstabber. So if that is the case, then we have a lot of backstabbers turncoats in this political arena in Maharashtra. So these things are always speculative. Always there is going to be talk about it. But let me assure you one thing. The stature of Mr. Sharad Pawar, his political power, his political astuteness has not dwindled, will not sway, and it will continue to be in reckoning as long as he's going to work. And let me tell you, he'll work for a long, long time to come.
All right. Mr. Crasto putting it out there for everybody to consume that Mr. Sharad Pawar is in fact here to stay. He's not mincing his words at all. We're going to take a look at the snippet of the documentary once again and go back to Kiran Tare, the man behind the story.
Backstabbing is the khasiyat of Sharad Pawar politics.
We all call him the walking, talking encyclopedia.
Nobody has been able to actually frame Pawar.
और ये शरद पवार की भूमिका नहीं निभा रहे, ये ललिता पवार की भूमिका निभा रहे।
Pawar came into politics just ahead of Maharashtra coming into being, 59-60 onward. So still he is relevant. And the importance of Pawar is that he is never out of use, the expiry date kind of a thing. He's always contemporary. He's always on the move. He tries to understand. He's not like other politicians who think they have arrived, So this is the beauty of Pawar, and he's one of the most hard-working politicians.
We all call him the walking, talking encyclopedia. When I think I'm going to go and discuss something which is probably new for him, I get a rude shock because he knows more than me.
It starts with 1978 when he backstab. Backstab was the word used by then, since then it started sticking to him. Vasant Patil government. He was part of it. And the blessing for that, I mean, it came after that. It's been reported also, widely written also about Yashwantrao Chauhan's idea basically to dislodge the government. But the actual action of dislodging was led by Mr. Pawar.
Backstabbing is the khasiyat of Sharad Pawar politics. It is always better for his political discourse, political suitability to work with Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray was just puppet of NCP and Congress.
There has been consistent effort, concerted effort to frame Pawar into certain color. It started with 1992-93 onwards. So there is so much of media creation about Pawar's so-called untrustworthy or not trustworthy image.
The most consistent feature of the Maratha strongman style of politics is his unpredictability. Pawar likes to keep his adversaries as well as his confidants guessing. This has ensured his political longevity. He has also outwitted those who call him a regional leader and stayed relevant in national politics.
Despite having political rivals, political challengers at different political places, nobody has been able to actually frame Pawar.
He was never relevant politician at India level, all India level. He remained Maharashtra level politician, but it is very unfortunate and sad on part of Sharad Pawar. Because of his policies, casteist politics, now he not only remained as a even Maharashtra politician, he now became leader of one caste.
If there is one leader who stands tall and who everybody feels like going and confiding in, and here I'm not talking about my party, I'm talking about parties all across the country. There are now second generation regional leaders in quite a few states. Their fathers would do it, the sons are doing it. They all feel like coming across and comforting themselves by sharing whatever is weighing on their mind, by sitting and talking to Pawar Sahib. So if he was not trustworthy, would that have come about?
Well, let's quickly go across to Kiran Tare, the man behind the story. Kiran, help the viewers understand here. What do these movements essentially mean for somebody like Sharad Pawar? He's gone on and said that, we must back, essentially backing Adani and Prime Minister Modi. But on the other hand, recently visited Mallikarjun Kharge as well. What is the larger message that goes out and trickles down to the public psyche? To the layman out there, this seems like, this person seems to be confused. But on the other hand, history is witness. It tells us that Sharad Pawar's movements are very calculated. What does the layman draw out of Sharad Pawar's movements then?
Of course, Pawar's every movement is very calculated and very astute. As Mr. Castro is rightly saying that he is a very hard-working politician. I mean, I don't see anybody else other than Prime Minister Narendra Modi who knows each and every person by his name and the background of the person also. He knows each and every issue going on in the state. You just tell him something, you just name it, and he will know the rest of the things. My understanding is that Sharad Pawar is trying to say that you don't need to harass the businessman with the industrialists unnecessarily. He has always been supportive to the industries. He has always been supportive to the people who are doing a good job, who are generating employment for the people of the country. But at the same time, he's trying to send out a message that you cannot neglect me when it comes to the policy matters. When you come as a united opposition, you should have consulted me before asking the demand for the GPC. Pawar is saying that Joint Parliamentary Committee is of no use because majority of the members will be from the ruling party. But he conveniently hides the fact that once a GPC is formed, all the relevant documents become public. They come into the public domain. The members of the opposition also get an opportunity to scrutinize those documents, which are very crucial. He is not telling this fact to the country, or to the people of the opposition party. My guess is that Pawar is trying to say that Congress even though Congress, he needs Congress, even though he has said that Congress is an essential factor, we need Congress to be in the opposition, we need Congress to have a part of the opposition. But at the same time, he's trying to send out a message that the Congress leadership is not able to keep the opposition united. They should have consulted a senior person like Pawar, and they should have gone on this issue. He has maintained a very good relations with Narendra Modi. Everybody knows that. As Mr. Castro rightly said, that Modi had publicly acknowledged that Pawar is his guru. So once the guru-shishya relationship is established, Pawar has not very harshly criticized Narendra Modi. He has criticized very harshly on Devendra Fadnavis and other BJP leaders, even Amit Shah also. But Pawar has always gone softer on Narendra Modi because of their personal relationship. That is where the question arises on his intention. That is where the Congress and the other opposition parties, they are doubtful about his moves. Sometimes they believe that Pawar is indirectly helping Modi and eventually BJP. And on the other side, the BJP says that Pawar is trying to go closer to the Modi, but he cannot be trusted because he ditched us in 2019. The Devendra Fadnavis, Ajit Pawar government episode, everybody knows about it. So Pawar is, I think, he's playing his cards very smartly. He's judging which way the wind is blowing, and he will take a final decision when he arrives at a conclusion. But I think that will take a lot of time. It is not going to happen very soon. He is creating an atmosphere where he finds himself suitable in a certain position. He will try to keep people's opinions coming out in his favor.
Right.
And the moment he will realize he can arrive to a conclusion, he will make his final move.
Well, absolutely. So some final words from Mr. Castro here. Mr. Castro, a couple of things. Do you think the opposition unity cannot be unlocked without somebody like Sharad Pawar, who's going to be dictating terms? And secondly, it's quite interesting how the NCP is, planning on contesting on some 40 plus seats in Karnataka as well. Give us a sense of why the NCP has chosen those particular seats. What's the reason behind it? There is speculation outside that, it's just to maintain that national party status or work towards it.
See, everything is part of the political process. When you're a political party, and we were a national party till a few days ago when we lost that tag. So we've been, like I've said it before, we are not just in Maharashtra. We have our proper, committees working in various states. You name it: Goa, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Assam, Jharkhand, Manipur, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, Kerala. I can go and give it a long list. So we may not have the electoral numbers, but we have a party working, functioning, serving the people in all the states. So like that, we are going to work in Karnataka also. And if we get the electoral numbers, we'll be back again as a national party. So that's the whole point. Thing is, you don't stop working. Just because you lost something or you lost an election, you do not stop working. So that is what Mr. Pawar has been telling us, to continuously work. He does not stop. Understand? See, setbacks come in life. You win some, you lose some. But you have to continue doing what you're doing, why you are there for. And that's what we're doing. Like I said a little while ago on this discussion, that he's accessible to everybody. People come with him with their problems, and he's always addressing them. He knows people by name. He meets people after a few years also. He still knows their name and why they met the last time. So that is the caliber and the quality of Mr. Sharad Pawar, that he has a mind which cannot be understood. Why people say? Because people tend to think that it's not so easy to remember all this. It's not so easy to know what is going on. How can a man, be in a position to do all that? So that's why people find it difficult to understand. But it's not difficult to understand. It's just that a man is gifted. A man knows what he's doing, and he's in touch with the ground realities. He's in touch with his cadre, and he's in touch with, importantly, his people. His people that he serves, he's in touch with those. That's the quality of Mr. Sharad Pawar, and you can never rule him out. Whether people say what they want to say, use the kind of words they want to use, but in an opposition right now, his experience, his knowledge, his understanding of politics is very important. And I think the parties like the Congress, Shiv Sena, and all the opposition parties that are with us have actually understood that, and that's why we are together. That's why he's had a meeting with Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Kharge, Ms. Sonia Ji, and Uddhav Thackeray, who came to meet him a couple of days ago. So they all understand his importance, therefore he's there. And with him around,
All
we are
right.
not going to be in trouble. We are always going to be together. He is the binding glue. That is what is important.
Well, so he's the glue that's important for all the answers that Mr. Crasto here has answered, really profusely and very passionately. Many thanks for joining with us, Mr. Clyde Crasto. And of course, Kiran, to you as well. It is a riveting documentary. I would again implore all the audience out there to download the News 9 Plus application and watch the Enigma of Sharad Pawar for a better understanding of what Kiran has been doing in Mumbai, Maharashtra, speaking to the NCP, to the BJP and the Congress as well, the history of the man as well. It seems like his timelessness and expertise, it just never goes out of fashion. Here's another snippet. Thanks for watching this episode. Stay tuned and keep watching News 9 Live.
Backstabbing is the khasiyat of Sharad Pawar politics.
We all call him the walking, talking encyclopedia.
Nobody has been able to actually frame Pawar.
और ये शरद पवार की भूमिका नहीं निभा रहे, ये ललिता पवार की भूमिका निभा रहे।
Pawar came into politics just ahead of Maharashtra coming into being, 59-60 onward. So still he is relevant. And the importance of Pawar is that he is never out of use, the expiry date kind of a thing. He's always contemporary. He's always on the move. He tries to understand. He's not like other politicians who think they have arrived, So this is the beauty of Pawar, and he's one of the most hard-working politicians.
We all call him the walking, talking encyclopedia. When I think I'm going to go and discuss something which is probably new for him, I get a rude shock because he knows more than me.
It starts with 1978 when he backstabbed. Backstab was the word used by then, since then it started sticking to him. Vasantdada Patil government, he was part of it. And the blessing for that, it came after that. It's been reported also, widely written also about Yashwantrao Chavan's idea basically to dislodge the government. But the actual action of dislodging was led by Mr. Pawar.
Backstabbing is the khasiyat of Sharad Pawar politics. It is always better for his political discourse, political suitability to work with Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray was just puppet of NCP and Congress.
There has been consistent effort, concerted effort to frame Pawar into certain color. It started with 1992-93 onwards. So there is so much of media creation about Pawar's so-called untrustworthy or not trustworthy image.
The most consistent feature of the Maratha strongman style of politics is his unpredictability. Pawar likes to keep his adversaries as well as his confidants guessing. This has ensured his political longevity. He has also outwitted those who call him a regional leader and stayed relevant in national politics.
Despite having political rivals, political challengers at different political places, nobody has been able to actually frame Pawar.
He was never relevant politician at India level, all India level. He remained Maharashtra level politician, but it is very unfortunate and sad on part of Sharad Pawar. Because of his policies, casteist politics, now he not only remained as a even Maharashtra politician, he now became leader of one caste.
If there is one leader who stands tall and who everybody feels like going and confiding in, and here I'm not talking about my party, I'm talking about parties all across the country. There are now second generation regional leaders in quite a few states. Their fathers would do it, the sons are doing it. they all feel like coming across and comforting themselves by sharing whatever is weighing on their mind, by sitting and talking to Pawar sahib. So if he was not trustworthy, would that have come about?